the Bronner Escobedo fight. Um, it was a lot of speculation that this fight wasn't going to happen, even though it did. Bronner didn't make the weight. Came in weighing 133.5. Sounded like he had no intentions of making the weight. His reason was that he outgrew the division. Then earlier this morning, he was supposed to weigh 140. Came in weighing 143. Fight was called off. The negotiations took place. Then the fight was back on. I think Escobedo got reported $400,000 for the fight. So that was why I guess the fight took place. The fight itself, Bronner I guess had to look spectacular for two reasons. Because of him not making the weight, and of course it was his hometown. He did what he had to do. He stopped him. Now, I guess he's going to move up to lightweight now. And there are some opponents there for him at lightweight. You know, like there's DeMarco who's there. Ricky Burns is there. You got a couple other fighters who are there. You know, I think he should maybe stay there for a little bit and build up a name at lightweight before he thinks about moving up to 140. I mean, he's 22, so he has time. It was a good performance, but again, it took a little something away from his performance, being that he came in over the weight. You know, it's one thing if you're at the weigh-in and you're maybe a pound over, that's one thing. But 3.5 pounds over, that's just like saying I guess I just think he had no intentions of making that 130 weight. You know. So, like I said, now he's gonna have to move up. You know, and that's one thing I don't like about boxing. And it's becoming more apparent now that fighters not making weight at the division that they're fighting in. Of course, you had Bronner 3.5 pounds over. A couple of years back, Jose Luis Castillo did it twice to Corrales. Then Corrales did it to I can't even think of whom he did it to, but he did it as well. He came in overweight. You know, just fighters, I don't know what it is. It just can't make the weight, or they just don't, while they're not training, they don't stay conditioned, you know, to hover around their weight. So this way, when they're fighting, it's not a problem. You know, that was one thing I loved about Hopkins, and he admitted it himself before the Trinidad fight. You know, when he's not fighting, he's usually like 5 or 6 pounds over his weight. So when he has to make his weight, it's easy for him to do it because he doesn't balloon himself up 20, 30 pounds over, and then you're trying to shed all that weight and then you can't make it. Then you're dehydrated, you look dry, and then you're susceptible to get knocked out. You know, it was one of the things I loved about Hopkins. You know, and you know, I watch a lot of old fights, and one thing I'm a believer of, I wish boxing goes back to, is same day weigh-ins too. You know, for the sole purpose that when after you weigh in, a fighter doesn't balloon up 20 pounds like a fighter like Chavez Jr., who can weigh 160 at a fight at the weigh-in, but the day of the fight he's 181, 182. That's ridiculous. That's why I wish boxing went back to the same day weigh-in. You know, but like I said, Bronner had a good performance. You know, but it took a little bit away from it because he couldn't make the weight. And if he had fought him at 130, it would have been even better. But like I said again, he had to have a spectacular performance due to the fact he couldn't make the weight. I guess that's my take on that. Y'all can, leave your comments and I'll respond as always. Alright, then until next time.